In this video, I'm going to discuss the future of residential assisted living and where I personally see it going. So if you're interested, make sure to stick around. What's going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Serge. Welcome to the channel. To all my reoccurring viewers, thank you so much for all the love and support that each and every single one of you have shown this channel. I greatly appreciate it. If you have not yet, feel free to go check out the God Made podcast on all streaming platforms. Feel free to check out the training program, Legion Assisted Living Academy, and feel free to check out all the documentation package that we do offer through Legion Assisted Living Advisors. These links will all be down below. I also do offer one-on-one consultation calls. This link is also down below, so feel free to check that out. If you are interested in passively investing in residential assisted living, feel free to shoot me an email in my business email, also in the description down below. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of this video. Now, residential assisted living is starting to become more and more mainstream. A lot more people are starting to come across it and are becoming aware of the opportunity that is happening in residential assisted living, which is a great thing because the housing for seniors and for the elderly is actually quite limited, believe it or not. And more people are trying to find places to place their loved ones that are not considered big box because of everything that happened last year and everything that's been going on. They're trying to actually place their loved ones in places where they're going to actually be able to monitor anything of the nature of, like, let's say the pandemic or anything else that could possibly happen. So a lot more people are starting to come across residential assisted living as an opportunity for them to place their loved ones. With that being said, where do I personally see residential assisted living going and what the future of residential assisted living being? Well, we still haven't really been on the radar of any of these big box facilities just because they kind of dominate the marketing in the senior living industry, and we ultimately don't rank nearly as high as any of these big box facilities who have the marketing dollars to do so. So, not as many people are aware, even though it kind of contradicts what I did say, but a lot more people are starting to become aware of it. And through the fact that it's a great opportunity from a real estate standpoint as well. And so, these big box facilities, what one thing that they haven't really caught on as of yet is the fact that there are franchises that are happening within this industry, and also the fact that there's these things called pocket communities that are also being created, which gives the big box opportunity as far as finances and being able to have more beds on a lot, but still have that residential assisted living environment of it being a home. So what people are starting to do, and what a lot of investors and a lot of other people who have the capital to be able to do it, what they're doing is creating 4 to 5 homes on one lot that are anywhere between 10 to 16 beds, depending on the zoning that they can get per property on that lot. And so they're still keeping that residential assisted living feel, but are allowing to be able to put, anywhere between 60 to 100 beds on one lot. And they're not these mid rises or high rises that are being put up by these big box facilities and these big box communities. So that is one thing that is going to really shift things within this industry that a lot of these mom and pop residential assisted living homes don't realize, because it hasn't really kind of caught traction yet and it hasn't really made a dent yet. And so, just like anything else major, right, when franchises, it's like you still have your mom and pop restaurants, even though you have all these different franchises all over the place. And people are still going to want that kind of like intimate family environment instead of the franchise kind of model where it's like it's not nearly as intimate. You really don't know who's who, and they got multiple people working, multiple staff, whatever the case may be. And so it's going to be very interesting to see the way residential assisted living becomes more and more mainstream, and how I truly see the people that do take advantage of the fact that there isn't nearly as much housing available for seniors, and a lot more families are actually going to be moving their seniors and their loved ones from these bigger communities. And these bigger communities are starting to realize that their vacancy rates are a lot higher than what they usually used to be. And the reason being is because you're not necessarily getting the care at these bigger facilities as you are in the residential settings. And that's another thing that I see is going to really help residential assisted living in the future, is the fact that when families are able to move their loved ones for not only a lesser rate, but also better care, it's kind of inevitable that they're going to eventually move their loved ones to these smaller community, to these residential assisted living communities, whether it's a mom and pop one on the corner of some street or residential setting, or these pocket communities where it's, still residential homes but all in one lot, which kind of uh, builds that community, right? And they're able to actually have that friendship and that commodity within that community, which is a great thing. I think a lot of seniors are starting to look for that as well, where if you're able to build that type of community and are able to put something in place there, that's really going to help. And so, residential assisted living has a lot of growth opportunity right now, simply because these big box facilities, they've had to shut down. They're kind of like behemoths. They're kind of hard to really adapt and adjust, whereas the residential assisted living, they're actually able to adapt and adjust, and that's actually going to really help residential assisted living. And so for people who are still kind of on the fence of possibly getting into this industry, fear not. I mean, there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of market share that residential assisted living can really snatch up. I would just be cognizant of the fact that residential assisted living is a different thing. It's not just something that you can get into easily. I think a lot of people have that misconception that it's this easy thing to get into, and it is a great opportunity, but it's only for the right people. And so, if you're looking to get into this simply because of the fact that you have a why, and because maybe you have a loved one who utilized this service and you thought you could do it better, which is a great thing, there are a lot of things that you can do to really make you stand out with this industry. And so, I kind of want to talk on the residential assisted living operators and owners who don't really understand what's going on within the industry, just simply because they are the owner operator and they're constantly in their business, so they don't really have time to keep up to date with what's really going on within the industry. But for a lot of the owner operators, what I'm starting to notice a lot is the ones that aren't aware of what's going on within this industry and are not adapting are the ones that are actually closing down a lot quicker. And there's been a lot more recently closing down simply because of the fact that they aren't charging the right rates. They were trying to undercut what the market was doing, but that wasn't making them any money. So in the long term, it's such a short term way to think. And so that's causing them to fail. And so for everyone who's looking to get in this industry, with inflation, with the cost of things going up, with everything happening, you're gonna have to start charging higher rates and not be afraid to charge those. But that comes through doing research in that area, making sure that you can get the rates that you want to get. And so, simply for the people that are the operators that are currently in the industry, just be aware of the fact that there are these franchises coming in, there are these pocket communities being built, there are these things that are happening that you're going to have to just adapt with, because these people are coming in with a lot more things, innovative things that are going to help them really stand out from the mom and pop residential assisted livings. So just be aware of that. I can go on and on about like the different things that they're doing, what they're implementing, the technology, the marketing, etc. They're coming in and they're really starting to make some massive changes, and it's really going to change the way families actually go about placing their loved ones in residential assisted living. And so I just want to make people aware of that. That's kind of where I see the future of residential assisted living going, is that there's going to be a lot more franchises in residential assisted living. There's going to be a lot more of these pocket communities. There's going to be a lot of innovation as far as the level of care, right? And the products being offered for families to really make them stand out. So just be aware of this. It's not anything to be scared of, or it's just a matter of adapting, is what I encourage each residential assisted living owner to do. And so with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you did, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button for me if you haven't, and go check out all the links down below for Legion Assisted Living Academy and Legion Assisted Living Advisors. Also, if you wanted to schedule one-on-one, feel free to do that down below. And again, thank you so much for all the love and support, and we'll talk in the next one. God bless.